All right, we got about 2 more minutes here before the race starts. Everybody stay tuned. We'll have live green flag action here in about 2 minutes here at Michigan. Stay tuned for the ARCS Ignition Series from Michigan. We are live here
Hey, who'd
at
you guys vote for?
Michigan International Speedway, and I forgot to turn off
I have to
the
touch the subject.
drivers, so hold on just a second. Rookie move, Withers, rookie move. Yeah, you hate to see it, but
Tier
now
2
we're
broadcasters here.
there you go, tier 2 broadcasters here. It's myself and Tommy Withers in the booth tonight. It's going to be a great race. I'm excited. Michigan, great track. These cars, very, very, very hard to drive. So I'm super excited, and hopefully we can have some green flag racing, but we'll see what happens here.
Yeah, we got a lot of regulars and some people making their debut, and points race is heating up a little bit. Even though it's pretty clear who's going to be in and who's going to be out, there's really not a lot of pressure. But it's a race where you're going to see a lot of cars going really fast, really close together. Anything can happen.
Absolutely. We'll bring up the grid here real quick. You can also see it on the tower over there to the left. But Tommy Reynolds is on pole in the number 29 Bandit Racing Machine. Noah Belleville second in the number 3 Bandit Racing Machine. So Bandit Racing takes the top row here. Jonathan Adams in the 42. Zach Millett 4th. Brandon Proudfoot 5th. Austin Mongold in 6th. Edward Marshall is in 7th in the 19 car. Alyssa Sharp in 8th. James Kerr is in 9th. Thomas Andrews is going to be starting 10th. Kevin Feemster, my driver, going to be starting in 11th. Dale Markowski in 12th. Elric George 13th. John Smeal did not have a good qualifying run, starting 14th. He's got some speed. We'll have to watch him. Joshua Garrison, good to see him back on the track tonight, Withers. It's been a long time.
It is very good to see my long lost friend Joshua
Man,
Garrison.
he was in the chat all day today, and I wanted to come say something to him, but I was just busy.
I'll tell you what, he is very excited to be behind the wheel tonight. I talked to him a little bit earlier today too. He is jumping at the bit to be back in the wheel, and I think we'll see him on Saturday too. So we'll see how much rust he has to knock off here early.
That's good to hear. 16th will be Mark Delia in the Presidential Racing number 22. My second driver. Jack Mulkey starting 17th. Zach McBride 18th. Patrick Allen Jr. bringing up the rear of the field in that 45 machine. Nothing new there. And Bradley Wright not actually racing this race. Just joined. Obviously didn't know what he was doing, so he's not in this race. But 65 laps. Stage will be at the end of 26. So when the leader comes to 27, that will be the first and only stage. And this is going to be a lot of fun here at Michigan. A a lot of fast drivers, fast cars, and there's a lot of room on the racetrack. So we're going to see 2, 3 wide here as we'll be coming to the green flag here in just a moment.
Yes, we hired an intern this week just to make sure we knew when the stage ended. So lap 26 it is. I don't think they're going to have to pit, so the question will be how nice do these drivers play the first 26 laps to make it to stage 2.
Absolutely. As all these drivers, 19 drivers on track. We have some Cup drivers out here tonight with Reynolds and Kevin Feemster, James Kerr, a couple others. But Elric George out there. But we are green flag racing here at Michigan. Lap 1 of 65 coming into turn 1 here. This is going to be a great race for everyone involved. Hopefully everybody keeps it clean and keeps it green here until the stage break.
Yeah, they're off good into 1. A little 2x2 here the first couple of rows. Everybody playing nice off of 2 down the backstretch.
Absolutely. Tommy Reynolds, obviously we know how fast he is. Noah Belleville, another driver that's very fast. Zach Millett, another driver. I mean, there's just so many drivers in this field. Edward Marshall, another Cup driver that has decided to run this race tonight. He's in the 19 car. A lot of talent in this field tonight. But right now, Tommy Reynolds leads them after 2 laps here at Michigan.
It's a good start to the race, Ryan. Who do you, I forgot to ask you before here pre-race. Who do you got winning this thing? Who's your guy or driver here?
Oh, man. Well, I mean, obviously I'm rooting for Feemster in the 12. Running my scheme, running my paint. And Mark Delia, another presidential racing driver. But it's hard to bet against Tommy Reynolds. If he doesn't get in any trouble out there on the racetrack, I think he's going to be hard to beat. Zach Millett, another one that's really fast. And Brandon Proudfoot has really showed a lot of speed since he's joined. So it's hard to pick just one, but who are you thinking? Who you think's going to win this thing?
Well, I like where your head's at. I believe that Proudfoot's going to be in it all race long. You know, Reynolds is going to want to run up front. I'm not going to pick Patrick Allen Jr. just based on previous races, but my guy, I think I'm gonna go with Austin Mongold in the 60. I think he's ran really good here in the past, and I think he's primed to get a win here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, Edward Marshall in the 74, Jack Mulkey also in the 74. So some B-Tron racing, you know, just I guess they don't give a fuck or whatever. I don't know. But 2 74s out there tonight, so you hate to see that. But the 74 of Edward Marshall doing much better than the 74 of Jack Mulkey right now, back in 18th place. Feemster is now in 18th. He had a little issue there. But Zach Millett out there leading this race right now with Brandon Proudfoot right behind him. Edward Marshall in 3rd, and Jonathan Adams hits the wall just a little bit coming here to lap 5 of 65.
Yeah, the field's kind of spread out here a little bit here. You got the first 4 cars, nose to tail, going into 1. 2x2 for 5th, and behind them, everybody seems to be playing nice. So I think everybody right now is trying to figure out, okay, where's the line I want to go to? Where's the line where I'm not going to get freight trained? Let's settle in. Let's see what we got. Save the tires, and see really what these drivers have in their cars over the course of a long green flag run.
Absolutely, and Austin Mongold right now in 5th, doing a really good job. Tommy Reynolds has dropped from 1st back to 6th. Noah Belleville also dropped back. That puts Bandit Racing 6th, 7th, and 8th now in the standings. I have a feeling they're probably saving their tires here. I also heard in the drivers' meeting the fuel is going to be very close on stage end. So there could be some people out there saving for fuel to try and make it to the end of the stage. We'll have to keep an eye on that as we get close to that lap 26 stage end.
Yeah, the more spread out they get, the less likely you would think you'll see a caution here. The first 5 definitely out to about a 1-second lead over 6th place vehicle. They're fighting a little bit towards the back, but it's going to get interesting here as the fuel window tightens to see. It's hard to save here. You can't really pit and stay on the lead lap. I mean, you might be able to if you're in that lead pack, but I would think anybody more than a second or two behind the leader would have a really hard time coming down pit road and coming back out, staying on the lead lap.
Absolutely, and one car that does not look like they are saving, that's the 13 of John Smeal, already up to 7th. We told you he qualified in 14th. Did not have a good qualifying lap, but you know, Withers, me and you, we are known for not having our best qualifying efforts, but it doesn't matter about qualifying, it matters about the race, and John Smeal is now taking 6th place from Tommy Reynolds. So John Smeal, again, I said it in the opener here. He has been practicing a lot. He's been running a lot of races here. I feel like John Smeal has a lot of speed in that 13 car, especially on the long run.
Yeah, I mean, you love drivers that take it seriously, that are here to win, that care about what we do here in ARCS, that are going to spend the time throughout the week, throughout their personal life to practice the craft and get better, right? Personally, you know, it's not that I'm not good at qualifying, it's that I like to spend the time to get my mind right, whether that be recreational or a liquid substance. You know, we like to get our mind right during qualifying, and then you know, spend the first 2 stages feeling her out, and then cut her loose in stage 3. Luckily, we have that affordability in the Cup Series, but Seville's looking good. I don't think he's done battling for that 5th position yet, but 6th position yet. But it's early on. Everybody's still trying to figure out what they got. I'm kind of surprised Reynolds isn't part of that first pack right now.
Yeah, I am too. I really do think he's trying to save fuel. You know, like I said in the drivers' meeting, we heard that fuel is going to be very close in this first stage. So it's kind of, you know, do you push it and just commit to pitting? As they are 3 wide for 6th place now. Smeal, Reynolds, and Alyssa Sharp, all 3 battling for that 6th position. But it's just right now, you know, as a driver, do you push and not worry about fuel, come down, you know, get a splash before the stage, or do you save and be there at the end? That's going to be the real key as we watch here. You know, these drivers, lap 11 of 65, so already stage break coming at lap 26. It's coming up fast, but fuel is running low already.
Yeah, it's been a pretty tame first stage here. I don't know what the answer is. I tend to lean on the air of saving personally when I'm in the car, but I don't know how much you can save here and remain competitive and in the picture. I think if you can stretch it, then you'll be fine, obviously, going into stage 2, but that's also a chance that, you know, could backfire. So I don't know. I don't right now anticipate there being a caution. I've done a little practice in here this week myself, and it seems like you could run single file, obviously fine, double file fine, but it seems to be when drivers go 3 wide is when problems start to happen. So I think it might stay green here this first stage.
I think it will too, and we're watching now the 28 of Zach McBride. He's up to 13th. Joshua Garrison in the 84 machine in 12th, having a hell of a run right now. 74 of Jack Mulkey, and the 14 of Elric George is going to go low on Zach McBride. Just some really good racing out here right now in Michigan.
That's what I love about this track. Oh, we have pit stops here early. We have a couple cars peeling off.
Yeah, that's Marshall and Alyssa Sharp coming down pit road, so they obviously know they cannot make it. That makes me wonder about some of these cars in the back. You know, Eric George, you know, going back to our heat days, known for saving fuel. Kevin Feemster and Mark Delia back there 14th and 15th. Are they saving fuel to try and, you know, make it to the end of this stage? And Patrick Allen's so far off the pace, he's saving fuel whether he wants to or not. So we'll have to keep an eye on this as we get closer to the end of the stage.
Well, he lives in his own world. It just makes sense that he races his own race, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
The interesting thing is, though, I don't think either of those 2 drivers took 4 tires. They weren't on pit road that long, and I think they were able to get out in front of the leaders here. Yep. So knowing that, it makes me feel a little better about the cars that aren't in this first four group of cars being able to get on pit road and get off. Now you're still going to have to run better times than the leader when you get off, though, if you're going to pit this early, I think.
Absolutely. I mean, we look at Edward and Alyssa Sharp's pit time. Both of them right at about 7.5 seconds on a pit stop. So yeah, definitely not enough time to change 4. Maybe enough time to change 2. Is Zach McBride also now coming down pit road? But 2 tires really not going to help you here with only 10 laps really remaining here until the end of the stage. So I think everybody's kind of saving a little bit here, but who can make it and who can't, that's something that unfortunately as broadcasters we don't know, so we kind of just have to roll with it. But I know one car that's really dropped off is Tommy Reynolds. He's back in 8th now, being battled by the 75 and the other 74 car of Jack Mulkey. So Tommy Reynolds definitely looks like he might be saving in that 29 machine.
Unless we miss something, I would tend to agree. Looking at his car, it doesn't seem like there's any sort of damage. So I think he's fast enough to run in the top 5. So I would think that he is on extreme save mode as well. Those drivers that pitted early are only about a half a straightaway in front of the leaders right now. So while they did get out in front, they're still having to push a little bit. Zach Millet's also putting down some pretty good laps. I don't think he's saving at all.
No, yeah, no way. He's 3 seconds ahead of Austin Mongold right now. And Austin, that was your driver kind of that you picked. He's up there in 2nd. Smil right now in 5th. Actually just passed Jonathan Adams for 4th. So John Smil having a hell of a race as well. Already up 10 spots from his starting position of 14th. But now the question is, who is saving? Obviously, Withers, we know Thomas Andrews in 7th. We know he is very good at saving fuel.
You read my mind.
Yep.
I was just about to say, when it comes to when you're in doubt, when a strategy is involved, just take a look and see what Thomas Andrews is in the 2 is doing, and the fact that he's also running in 7th behind the car in front of him patiently makes me think that he's also saving a little bit here too.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, anytime we like you said, we talk strategy. I mean, that 2 car of Thomas Andrews, he is so good with numbers. He's so good with, tires. And I feel like he may be saving right now. I don't know if it's going to be enough. We'll have to see. Like you said, I don't think Zach Millet is saving at all, as Noah Belleville has a little bit of a blink there, but all good. Joshua Garrison up in 10th now. Great run for him. I'm going to have to talk to him after this race. I have not talked to him in, it feels like 2 or 3 years, Withers, but I know it hasn't been that long. But 74 gets loose under the 2. Just so much action happening out here on the track right now.
Yeah, and it looks like I can't tell if the cars that just went by Thomas Andrews or not. Maybe Zach McBride in the 28. If he's on fresh tires seem like they actually matter here.
Mm-hmm.
So he seems to be chopping through this pack pretty good. I don't know if it's going to be. We'll see how that pans out versus the other strategies from the other drivers. But he's coming. I'd rather be a comer than a goer, I think.
Well, I don't know what happened up front, but John Smil already up to 2nd. Went by Mongold, Proudfoot. I mean, just pretty much everybody. And now John Smil running 2nd. Austin Mongold 3rd. Brandon Proudfoot 4th. Thomas Andrews has now made his way around the 3 of Noah Belleville. He's in 5th. Joshua Garrison up to 9th. Haven't seen any other cars pit yet, but we'll keep an eye on that. Patrick Allen is 16th, 19 seconds back from the leader, so he should definitely be able to make it on fuel there, as slow as he's running. But we'll keep an eye on everybody here, as we only have 6 laps left here in this first stage.
Yeah, and do you think that some drivers maybe are hitting the panic button on their strategy, saying, "Okay, we're gonna save enough. We're gonna be just fine." There's only 5 laps left in the stage. There's a chance that a lot of these drivers looked down at their fuel gauge and said, "Uh-oh," and all hit the brakes at the same time. And so, as you see Thomas Andrews coming towards the front now, as he works his way into the top 5 up to the 4th position. He's probably got enough, He's if he's moving forward, I feel confident that he's confident. So we'll see what happens if Millet can do it. I don't know if they close pit road early before the stage in the Ignition series, but that might also come into play.
Yeah, not sure about that. John Smeal, I know for a fact is not saving. He has went from about 4 seconds back from the leader to about 2.7 at the line, and he is not slowing up any. John Smeal is on a tear, 2.5 seconds back from Zach Millett. Now, obviously Zach Millett being 2.5 seconds ahead of second place, he can save a little bit. Really no pressure there, but Thomas Andrews now to third, Noah Belleville fourth, Austin Mongold fifth. So obviously some of these drivers are worried about fuel. You can see that they're backing off, not running as hard as they were before, but it's really a toss-up on who can make it and who can't make it at this point.
Yeah, and if you're Zach Millett, the laps are running down. Surely we thought earlier that he was gonna have to pit as your leader, just running some really fast laps, but he seems to not be worried. Smeal and Andrews are catching him, but not enough for him to panic or even break a sweat. So we'll see what happens here. As I think we're gonna have more cars coming down pit road before the stage is over.
Yeah, right now the only cars that have pitted are Edward Marshall, Alyssa Sharp, Zach McBride, and Dale Markowski, all being scored 16th to 19th. So those are the only cars that have pitted so far. Still nothing on my live timing yet on other cars pitting.
You got Jack Multi
yep.
and Joshua Garrison on pit road here, lap 23.
Yep, spoke too soon. So Jack Mulkey in the second 74 car, and Joshua Garrison in the 84 coming down pit road. Lap 24, again, the stage will end at the end of 26. So they have three, more laps here, coming to 2 more laps. And John Smeal is catching Zach Millett. He is only 1.8 seconds back. Did Smeal save enough to push this thing here as Jack Mulkey, Patrick Allen also on pit road now, but everybody else still out on the track right now.
Millett's actually changed his line too. He's running a lot lower on the track, so I think that he might be a little worried as well about making this to the end. And keep in mind, even though you might be able to make it to the end of the stage, you still have to make it back around the pit road.
Absolutely, and that's a big deal. I mean, making it to the stage is one thing, but making it back to pit road is another thing, because yes, you want these stage points, but if you don't make it back to pit road, it looks like John Smeal is coming down pit road. He cannot make it. John Smeal in second place, coming down pit road as they come to lap 26 of 65. That is the last lap here in this stage. John Smeal cannot make it on fuel.
Yeah, Millett's looking pretty good, being challenged here by Dale Markowski with a late charger. I think Dale's looking to win the stage here coming off turn 2 down the backstretch towards the end of the stage.
Absolutely. Dale actually 1 lap down, so he's battling to try and get not even really get the lucky dog, just trying to pass Zach. Zach, I think he's gonna make it.
Mulkey wants that.
Yeah,
he's running
he does.
Right behind him also
he
a lap
does.
down here.
And
Dale's not going to do him any favors.
Yep, Dale's not going to make it. So that's the caution. Dale Markowski is being shown on the lead lap right now, but I don't think that he did not get by Zach Millett. So that's going to trap a couple cars a lap down. Dale Markowski obviously should get the lucky dog, but Jack Mulkey, Joshua Garrison, and Patrick Allen Jr., all 3 going to be trapped 1 lap down. John Smeal did get out in front of Zach Millett, so Smeal will be 15th. But he, depending on what he did on pit road, obviously, he might be able to stay out here, but we'll see what he does here.
The worry would be for me, right, if you pitted, you probably just took fuel. If you took 4 tires and you're a lap down, you're feeling okay because you can probably get a wave around. But I don't know. Some of those guys probably just took fuel. They're going to have to maybe stay out and hope for a caution, or pit and come to being a lap down and hope for the best from there.
Well, Smeal's pit time was a 14.92, and that makes me think he may have taken 4 tires.
Okay.
Zach McBride also a 14.47. So he probably took
What about
four.
Garrison?
Joshua Garrison was a 14.7 as well. So he took four.
Okay.
So I think he'll be able to get the wave around here. Dale Markowski, unfortunately, was a 7-second stop. So he either took 2 or no tires. So that's really going to be that's going to be tough for him. Patrick Allen was a 9-second stop, and Jack Mulkey was a 10-second stop. So again, all three of them right there around the 2-tire range. But I think at this point you have to take the wave around, get back on the lead lap, and just hope for, some calamity here as the leaders come down pit
Somebody
road.
might be out of fuel. The Zach Millet's on pit road. Everybody else is very, very far behind him.
Yeah, they're
As you
11
see the leader
seconds.
come on pit road.
Yeah, they're 12 seconds behind right now.
Very
Tommy,
fortunate for Millet. Take his time, enter how you want.
absolutely.
Miss your box. Who cares? You got a 5 second
Yeah.
penalty. There is no pushing under yellow here in the Xfinity series, or Ignition series. So we'll have to see if anybody maybe assisted somebody. As I think Noah Belleville was actually the one who ran out of gas.
Just didn't quite have enough in the tank, but John Smeal does stay out, and he will be your race leader. Elric George is actually going to be lined up in second place, so obviously the Bohemian, I don't know how to say that, Bohemian boss is up there in second in that number 14 machine.
The Bahama Bullet.
The Bahama Bullet up there in second, so we'll see what he can do. We know John Smeal has some speed in that 13 car. It's going to be a lot of fun watching those two, and obviously we know Zach Millet has been fast all night long. Mark
Yeah,
Delia up to fourth too. Great run for Mark Delia right now.
yeah. Millet obviously won the battle off pit road for the drivers that came down. Followed by Thomas Andrews, Jonathan Adams, Edward Marshall, Alyssa Pelter Sharp, Brandon Proudfoot, and Feemster looks like will be your top 10 when we go back green. Kevin
Yep.
Feemster.
Looks like the 84 of Joshua Garrison right now being shown behind the 13. I'm hoping he gets a wave around, but he may have pitted here. I'm trying to see. Joshua Garrison, last time he pitted was lap 23, so he did not pit, but for whatever reason, it is dropping him to the back here. So Joshua Garrison and Patrick Allen both.
You hate to see it. There's only one stage tonight?
Yep, only
Or is
one
it-
stage in Ignition all year. All they do
Okay.
is one stage, so that is the only stage of the race. So obviously we know that they cannot make it to the end of the race if it stays green, because we had people running out, under caution after 27 laps, and now they have, pretty much 35 laps left. And so they're not going to be able to make it, but unfortunate for Joshua Garrison. Not exactly sure what happened there. I thought he was going to take the wave around, but obviously something happened there, and he is trapped one lap down along with Patrick Allen Jr.
Yeah, as the field goes into turn 3 here, pace truck leading them around. It's been a good race so far. It's been a clean race. Do you think it'll stay as neat and orderly as it has been these first 29 laps?
I would say no, but we'll see what happens here as Edward Marshall's in second. I think him and Alyssa Sharp obviously pitted early on in that first stage. So if they stayed out, or maybe they just took 2, we'll have to see what kind of speed they have. But I think John Smeal's in the best position right now. He has 4 tires, and he is ready to go up there in first place. He gets a great jump here as the green flag flies here in Michigan once again tonight here in the Ignition Series.
A great start by Smeal. He clears them going into 1. He's got some company behind him, though, as Millet's going to look back for the lead here on the bottom coming off turn 2. Edward Marshall in third here. Going to stay on the high side. It's hard on the restart especially. Pass on the bottom. The tires are fresh. The temperatures are down. You're not going to have a ton of grip down there. If you can't clear a car going into the corner maybe halfway through, you're kind of at the mercy the drivers behind. But you could also do a slide job, is what he did here up coming off turn 4, and it looks like he's going to hold it coming to the line.
Absolutely. Oh, big wreck! Oh, 60's involved. 29's
Oh no.
involved. That's Austin Mongold in the 60 machine. Big wreck there. Looked like he got turned, or I'm not sure exactly what happened there. We'll see. Oh, that's not the right button. Sorry.
Another 3 wide incident, I believe.
Yeah, that was just.
Oh no. It's I don't know, a racing incident, something maybe with the 29 of Tommy Reynolds.
Yeah, we're gonna bring up our camera thing here. We're gonna go back to our previous crash, and we're gonna ride along actually with the 60 of Austin Mongold, and there you see the wreck has already happened at that point. So we'll ride along here with the 60 machine. He is side by side there with the 12. Makes a little bit of contact with the 12, and the 60 in his lane. The 29 up high, and the 29 just it was some net code there, some really bad net code, and it looks like the 22 of my car is involved again. So we got to pay that bill again here at Michigan. But just, I don't know, just kind of weird. I don't know what the 29 of Tommy Reynolds was doing. He was coming down, and then, I mean, it was net code. It definitely, you know, wasn't 100% on Tommy Reynolds, but still just a really weird thing there. As we'll take a ride on board with Mark Delia in the 22. So you see he's coming out of 4. He sees right here the smoke and the 60, and boom, there is his front end completely gone. So 22 again involved in some.
Might be a good thing for Josh Garrison, but
Oh yeah, for sure.
it's not anything either of those drivers wanted to do, right? It's kind of like one of those lazy wrecks. Or I'm sure both of them were just going down the stretch, not thinking too much about it, and just ended up just drifting into each other. It happens all the time. You hate
Yep.
to see it for Mark Delia, innocent bystander on a wreck that could have been easily avoided, but it is a little fun for us here in the booth. Is we like to see more strategy. As we got some more cars on pit road.
Absolutely. There's a bunch of cars on pit road. Obviously, Mark Delia on pit road because he had damage. Kerr, Zach Millett, Dale Markowski, Tommy Reynolds obviously involved. Austin Mongold had severe damage there as well. Patrick Allen Jr. looks like he got the lucky dog, so Joshua Garrison still trapped 1 lap down here, but one more caution and he'll be back in the mix of things. So this is turned out to be a great race so far.
Do we have time to do a pre in race interview with Josh Garrison?
We do, if I can. I
See
just
if I
dropped.
can get him there.
Yeah, you go right ahead. I'm gonna take a pee break, and it's all on you, buddy.
All right. Josh Garrison, this is Tom Withers in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
What's going on, buddy? Welcome back to ARCS. We missed you greatly. How's it feel to be back in the car?
Feels amazing, man. Like, I don't know. Missed the fun. I'm just having fun.
It's
Sure.
good to see you out there, man. And we're trying to figure out how Quiet got the lucky dog over you there.
I don't know. I got trapped a lap down since somebody couldn't follow the rules, but that's just how I feel.
We definitely want to see you back on the lead lap. You've gotten a lot of TV time tonight. Crowd favorite. Love to see you back out here, man. Keep digging. I don't think they're done wrecking. If you get back on the lead lap, do you think you have anything for the guys and drivers out there?
No, I'm probably a mid-pack car. I mean, I don't think I'd be able to crack the top 10, but we'll give it a shot to see where we end up.
Hey, honesty. That's all that matters. Honesty.
We'll remember that later on tonight when you're in the broadcast booth with your podium finish.
Mm-hmm.
I hope so.
All right, buddy. Have a good night. We wish you the best up here. Hopefully, you get back on the lead lap and can give them hell. I don't remember where I dragged you from, though. Were you in Bandit Racing?
Yeah.
All right, buddy. Good luck to you the rest of the way, Josh.
Thanks.
That is Joshua Garrison. who will
Perfect.
make his debut in the SNS series. I
Tomorrow
guess
night.
season 6, as everybody else
Yeah,
will. Yes, he
I'm
will be
excited.
there.
I'm
New
excited.
number for him, the 84 truck. It should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, Daytona's always wild. And
It
so
is.
it
It's
is.
a lot like this though. You know,
It is.
this is
It's
like a
very
baby Daytona.
Yeah, it's very crazy. As we're going green flag here again, we'll be coming to lap 36 of 65. Edward Marshall is your current race leader. Thomas Andrews second. Really good start by Edward Marshall. Jonathan Adams in third. I'm not going to talk about him because every time I do, he gets wrecked. But look at Kevin Feebster in that 12 car up there in fifth. You got to love the Presidential Racing 12 up there in the top five.
You gotta love it. I agree with you right there. As we go down the backstretch here, lap 36. So, I think everybody came down pit road. We've seen that 27-ish, maybe 28 laps is the strategy. So, most of these drivers good to go until you get close to lap 60 here. We'll see if they can keep it green. But hey, there's only 65 laps in the race. So again, you hate to see a race that's full of nothing but fuel saving, but do you save here? Maybe you can make it to the end.
Absolutely. As you see all these cars going by here on stream, we're trying to change up the camera angles here a little bit. Just keep y'all involved. Oh, we got one in the wall. I think that was, not sure who that was, but great racing right now between all of the leaders as they come into 3 and 4.
Single file they go, one by one, until you get to about 4th place. There seems to be a little bit of a battle, but everybody's minding their P's and Q's. There's been some great racing tonight. Everybody's been really respectful of each other. Some great racing in the ARCS Ignition Series.
Absolutely. As Patrick Allen has made his way to 16th place. He's ahead of Tommy Reynolds. And he just passed Jack Mulkey, so I'm going to screenshot that and put that in a chat here later tonight. But
Yeah, we're almost halfway in this race, and we're
he's
past
still in
halfway.
it. He's
He's
still in
still
it.
in it. So Patrick Allen, they've been saving money all season, parking when needed. This is one of the races they've had circled all year. They want to show up, do it the best they can. Really show up for their sponsors here at Michigan International Raceway. And 16th place, while it might not seem like a win to some for Quiet, there's always a chance, right? Same thing.
Oh yeah,
As people say.
absolutely. Now up to 15th, and he's chasing down 14th of Dale Markowski. So hell of a run for Patrick Allen. Got a lot of John Smeal fans in the chat. So John Smeal now in 9th place, trying to make his way back to the front. Right now, Edward Marshall is your race leader. Jonathan Adams second. Thomas Andrews in third. Brandon Proudfoot fourth, and Kevin Feemster in 5th place. Those 5 have pulled away to about a 1.2 second lead off of Noah Belleville and Zach Millett, who came down pit road that last pit stop. So those front 5 definitely have some older tires than 6th and 7th. We'll have to keep an eye on that. I think 6th and 7th are going to close in here pretty quick.
Yeah, the first group of 5 cars look like they're pretty content running nose to tail. But I was just thinking, as you were talking, that's one of the great things about the Ignition Series here is you got a lot of drivers still trying to make a name for themselves in ARCS, right? So you have a lot of drivers that are either newer to ARCS or have not been able to catch the right eye of the right Cup Series owners. It's great to see them come out here, run clean races, fight hard for almost every position. Marshall, Jonathan Adams, Brandon Proudfoot, Millett, Smeal, all trying to gain their reputation and the eye of all the other owners out there and all the other drivers and arts. They're doing a really good job. It's really competitive out here, and it goes to show you the depth of the whole organization.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, this is our kind of building block for A Squared, and it has served its purpose. We've had 3 or 4 drivers moved up from the Ignition Series to A Squared on Sunday night, so definitely has served its purpose, and it continues to do that as drivers like Jonathan Adams in 2nd, Brendan Proudfoot running 4th, Zach Millett in 6th, Noah Belleville 7th, John Smeal 8th, Zach McBride 9th. I mean, all of those drivers eligible to run full-time in A squared if they get called up, and they're out here showing their talent here at Michigan with only 23 to go here at the line for all these drivers.
Yeah, and that's almost like it's almost like you show up every week to tune into the Ignition Series. It's almost like going to your local minor league baseball field. You know, they could be here today and gone tomorrow as the Cup window opens up here in a couple weeks, I believe, after one of the road courses. So, some of these drivers here trying to make a name for themselves, do good enough here to catch a ride in the Cup Series for the remaining schedule of races. So. These guys want to win. Edward Marshall wants to win. Jonathan Adams wants to win. Thomas Andrews kind of taking a step back from a lot of different series here in ARCS, but he likes these Xfinity cars. He likes being out here with these drivers, and I'm sure he wants to win too, as he stays in the top group of cars here.
Absolutely, with Zach Millett now in 5th, only 8/10 back from your race leader of Edward Marshall. Those fresh tires, I think, finally showing how important they are here, as Zach Millett obviously has a lot of skill behind that number 315 machine, but those tires are a huge help too, as he's going to try and look low on Thomas Andrews, and he's going to pass Thomas Andrews. Now he's going to set his sights on the 6 of Brandon Proudfoot, and he'll be in the top 3 if he can get around that 6 car.
He's a comer, not a goer, and I always say in these long races where you tend to have a lot of green flag runners, I'd rather be the driver on the fresher tires. Give me a chance. You know, I don't want to play defense the whole time while I'm on the track, but he seems to like this track. He's got a good handling car. I don't think anybody is saving though. I think all these drivers they're going to have to make one more stop tonight.
Well, we just saw actually Noah Belleville and Tommy Reynolds both made a pit stop. They are now 1 lap down, so they came down pit road. Their last pit time was 14 seconds each, about 14 and a half. So they came in, took 4 tires, filled it up with fuel, so obviously we know they can make it 20 laps. They're now hoping that this thing stays green because they're going to make up a little bit of time. Zach Millett right now in that 315 is just so much faster than everyone else. But there's the 3, Noah Belleville, in the mix, but he is 1 lap down. He's trying to get his lap back the hard way here with only 20 to go.
Yeah, if you're Noah, you kind of have to mind your P's and Q's, you know, as he goes and passes the leader, because why not? So he's back on the lead lap. It's about time for these other drivers to come through too, as I think we're going to have more drivers come every lap.
Yep, Zach McBride's on pit road. Kevin Feemster now also on pit road. So definitely green flag pit stops happening here. And the sooner you come in, obviously, the faster you're going to be on the short run. So you're going to gain time on, you know, whoever's in front of you. But when these cars come down pit road, they're going to be faster than everyone that has already pitted. So that's something to keep in mind here. Hopefully, you know, everybody that's pitting has no speeding penalties, no issues, doesn't miss their box. But if they don't, they should be pretty well ahead of these cars if they were running with them before pit stops.
This is the money stop. Races can be won, but it's very easy to lose a race on pit road. Green flag stops are always a little anxious. It's always, you know, grew up listening to DW call races, and he always said the hardest thing to do is run 190 and then all of a sudden run 55 miles an hour coming onto pit road. So everybody needs to be very, very cautious of that. There's tons of room here. There shouldn't be any communication mishaps or collisions going on in pit road, but you still don't want to miss your box, because 2 seconds here is the difference between being in a lead pack in the draft and running by yourself.
Absolutely. As Mark Delia also on pit road. Now James Kerr and Austin Mongold come down pit road here. So pit stops definitely happening here with 17 to go. Noah Belleville, honestly, right now might be in the best position. He's in 14th, not a lap down. Feemster, McBride, Reynolds, obviously Garrison was already a lap down. Mark Delia, all of them are 1 lap down. They have all pitted. Noah Belleville pitted and is still on the lead lap as we see Edward Marshall coming down pit road this time. So a lot of pitting here, a lot of strategy. We'll have to see what happens here. As Smeal, Alyssa Sharp, Dale Markowski, a whole mess of cars come in here with 16 to go.
Yeah, incident free. It looks like they gave each other room to slow down and get on pit road. And we're gonna really see in the next few laps how much fresh tires matter. You know, how many spots can a Noah Belleville pick up by pitting early, and how much of a gap does that give him, right? So I mean, you can gain that. It's nice to gain the 2 seconds on the driver ahead of you, but you know, looking at it, they still have 15 laps to go. You don't want to. It's plenty of time for fresh tires to catch you. So.
Absolutely.
We'll see which strategy plays out here late in the race.
Yep, in the 12 car.
As 18 actually missed her pit box, had to back up, and it cost her a lot of time on pit road.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate as Brandon Proudfoot and Jack Mulkey now down pit road. Kevin Feemster in the 12 car gets around the 315 of Zach Millett. So Kevin Feemster now on the lead lap, the 28 of Zach McBride. Also about to unlap himself. Tommy Reynolds right behind, about to do the same. So the 315 now, I mean, Withers, you know, we've been there before. You got to come down.
It's
here
time.
soon. Yeah.
You don't want to be too far behind those guys.
And here he is. Yep, him and Adams. Thomas Andrews does stay out. Elric George looks like he will stay out as well. But most everybody else coming down pit road now because they saw how slow they were compared to those fresh tires, and this is where we'll really see where everyone's gonna kind of map out here after the green flag stops.
Yeah, you want to give, if you're going to take 4 tires late into a race, you want to give those tires enough time to mean something. So
Yeah.
anything less than, you know, they have 13 to go now roughly. Anything less than that, those tires aren't gonna be able to do as much as they could have if you would have pitted maybe a couple laps sooner. Not sure what the benefit is to stay on out this late. It seems like most drivers have made their way back on the lead lap anyway, but beds are made and the cars are on the table for sure.
Well, Thomas Andrews is now down pit road in the number 2 AC Delco Chevrolet machine. That will give the lead to the number 14 of Elric George. That all-tell Ford Mustang. And look who's in second. Patrick Allen Jr., 10 seconds back from Elric George. So first and second obviously have not pitted. Thomas Andrews will be falling down the scoring pylon there as he is on pit road. It looks like Elric George is coming down pit road here with 12 to go. See if Patrick Allen decides to come down pit road as well. He's 10 seconds back, so it's going to take him a while.
45 will lead a lap.
He will. What a day. Does he have enough fuel? That's the question. I don't think so, but we'll keep an eye. But we'll give him some TV time here as he is leading this race. The 45 of Patrick Allen Jr. out there in that number 45 machine. What a race. 14 seconds ahead of Zach Millett, so if he can make it to the end, hey, you know, you got 14 seconds ahead, but that's a hell of an ass there for that 45 machine as he's in the wall going into the 3 and 4.
He's driving the piss out of that thing here. Quiet's probably got a big old smile on his face. Doesn't know what to do with himself here. He's going to go ahead and lead one more. Why not?
Why not?
Letting her eat down the front stretch here across the start-finish line.
Letting that Ford Mustang eat. I think it's a Ford Mustang. I can never... Yeah, it's a Ford Mustang. I see it now. So, Patrick Allen Jr. up here leading this thing with 11 to go. Can he make it to the end? I don't think so, but if he can, holy moly.
Call me crazy, but if a caution comes out here and you got 10 laps on your tires, you're probably going to pit, right? Patrick Allen could be staring at a very favorable starting position here.
Absolutely. He can come in, get fuel, get tires. Donald Ray is saying, come on, Quiet, let's go. We are pulling for Quiet as well. With 10 to go, he's 9 seconds ahead of Zach Millett and Edward Marshall. If a caution comes out, look out, because the 45 will be up front and be able to come down and get tires, get fuel. We don't think he can make it on fuel. And Withers, I agree. He is driving the piss out of that thing right now. I mean, he is sideways coming out of 2. He's in the wall coming into turn 3. He is driving the piss out of that thing, but he's coming to 9 to go. We'll see if he stays out or comes down pit road here, and he's going to stay out one more lap.
Well, he's losing about 2 seconds a lap, but he's
Yeah.
looking hella good doing it. 45 coming across the line here. 8 to go. Looking really good. The odds still aren't in his favor. Probably still a good bet. Folks at home want to go ahead and place their bet on him right now. He probably got some good odds, but the rest of the field's at least a little nervous on behalf of Patrick Allen Jr. Not something I plan to say here at 57, Ryan.
Me either, by far. I mean, yeah, he's losing a lot of time. He's 5 seconds in front of Zach Millett. You know, they all have fresh tires. He's losing a lot of time right now, but
behind him, though, there is a very good battle behind Zach Millett and Edward Marshall, which might be for the eventual lead here as they come up the corner about 2 car lengths behind each other.
Absolutely, and we got 8 to go, and Zach Millett will probably catch quiet within the next lap or 2. But like you said, Edward Marshall right behind Zach Millett, Brandon Proudfoot about 2 seconds back from those two. Jonathan Adams in 5th, Noah Belleville 6th, Kevin Feemster 7th. But Patrick Allen right now still 3 seconds ahead of Zach Millett. He is running the high side. He's letting that thing eat. He's letting it eat the wall there in that 45 machine. And he's going to come down pit road, and that is the end. Oh, and he wrecks it on pit road.
You hate to see it. It looks like he's going to be able to back her up and get on a pit road without causing a yellow. But hey, great performance by Quiet. Awesome. You know, when he can last until 6 laps to go, this is what you get. You know, you get lap sled. You love to see it. He's just got to figure some things out in the first 80% of the race.
Yeah, he was there. He pulled the strategy, was hoping for a caution, didn't get it.
IQ 1000 there for a second.
For real. I mean, if the caution comes out, we're all looking at the 45 of Patrick Allen leading this race with less than 6 to go. So good call by the 45 crew. It just didn't quite work out.
That was his only call.
Yep, that's all he had. But Zach Millett now your race leader, ahead of Edward Marshall by about 4/10, and they are ahead of Brandon Proudfoot by about almost 3 seconds now. So these two are definitely going to be the ones to battle for this thing unless a caution comes out.
I agree, and just looking at the rest of the leaderboard here, Jonathan Adams in 4th, Belleville in 5th, Schmiel in 6th, kind of stalled here about 7 seconds, 6 seconds behind the leader. Kevin Feemster in 7th, Dale Markowski 8th, James Kerr 9th, and Zach McBride in 10th. Thomas Andrews 11th. I'm not sure, maybe the race didn't quite play out the way he needed it to here for him to be mired back that far. But again, really good competition here in the Ignition Series, so it's hard to tell.
Absolutely, yeah. I think he just may have stayed out a little too late, kind of waiting for that caution. Same way Patrick Allen was waiting for that caution. But John Smeal now up to 6th. He is actually closing on Noah Belleville in that number 3 machine. He's about 5/10 back, but we got 5 to go here at Michigan. So not sure if he'll have enough time to get to Noah Belleville. But he is definitely trying to push to get a top 5 finish in that number 13 machine.
Yeah, and if you're Zach Millett, you're on kind of cruise control here. 3 laps to go, you're pulling away from the guy in 2nd place. What do you think is going through your mind, though, if you're an Edward Marshall digging as hard as you can, just trying to gain any ground possible?
He's hoping for a caution. That's all he's doing, hoping and praying as the 45 hits the wall hard there behind the 13, but he keeps it straight, so no caution. Not yet. We'll keep an eye on the 45. He's, again, driving the piss out of that thing. Still ahead of the 84 of Joshua Garrison, who still, unfortunately, trapped a lap down in 19th, so I don't think he's going to be able to make it back on the lead lap as we only have 3 to go, coming to 2 to go here at the line. Unfortunate re-debut for the 84 of Joshua Garrison.
Yeah. The battle for third is heating up here between Jonathan Adams and Brandon Proudfoot as they're nose to tail when you have Noah Belleville and John Smeal probably about 2 seconds, 3 seconds behind them. So a couple of tandem battles here coming to two to go. But for the most part, it's smooth sailing for Zach Millett.
Yeah, he's pulled away now to almost an 8/10 of a second lead over Edward Marshall. Jonathan Adams right now, I'm telling you, I'm pulling for him as a broadcaster. I have given him so many broadcasters' curses in that 42 machine. I am hoping and praying that he gets him a podium finish here as they'll be coming to the white flag here at Michigan. So Zach Millett pretty much has this thing wrapped up unless something happens to him here on this last lap. Edward Marshall pretty solidly in second. We're watching the battle for third right now between Jonathan Adams and Brandon Proudfoot. 1 lap remaining here at Michigan.
Yeah, as the 45 eats shit here on the white flag lap, I think they're going to keep it green on behalf of him, but it is clear sailing here for Zach Millett, followed by Edward Marshall, Jonathan Adams, followed by Brandon Proudfoot trying to get on the podium here as they fight for third.
Okay, they are battling, and we're going to pretty much wrap it up. Zach Millett's going to get the win. Brandon Proudfoot going to the inside of the 42 of Jonathan Adams here in 3 and 4. They're going to be side by side coming out of turn 4. Jonathan Adams, does he have enough to get to the start-finish line? The 6 is going to make a little bit of a side draft, and the 42 is going to get third place by 1/100th of a second. What a finish for the podium there. The 6 and the 42 showing a little love with each other there after the race. John Smeal, unfortunately, coming home in P6, not where he wanted to finish. Dale Markowski had a really good run in 7th, Thomas Andrews 8th, Kevin Feemster in the 12 car in 9th, and James Kerr in 10th. So that puts 1, 2, 3, 4 cars in the top 10 are full-time A-squared competition, so obviously they know what they're doing out there. Jack Mulkey 11th, Zach McBride 12th, Mark Delia 13th, Elric George 14th. Tommy Reynolds had a really rough day, coming home in 15th. Alyssa Sharp 16th, Austin Mongold 17th, Joshua Garrison 18th, and Patrick Allen Jr. will round out your running order in 19th place after leading with only 7 laps to go. Just didn't quite make it. What a race there.
Yeah, very clean race. Everybody very polite. Nobody doubt the hauler will be very busy today. Something cool that they do here, the Ignition Series top 3 gets to the start finish line for photos while the leader does burnouts. That's a pretty cool little touch to the race.
Yep.
But once again, man, it's been a lot of fun here. I can't wait to do some interviews, but it's always fun being in the booth with you.
Absolutely, and thank you for being here. And we will be back with our top 3 interviews here in just a moment, so stay tuned. We'll have Jonathan Adams, Edward Marshall, and Zach Millett up here in the broadcast booth for their top 3 interviews here momentarily. back here with your top 3 podium finishers. We will start with our third place finisher, Jonathan Adams. Jonathan, this is Ryan Pinnell in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, I tell you, buddy, I never thought I would ever get to talk to you, but here you are. Every time I say you're going to finish well, I give you the curse, and you don't finish in the top 3. But here you are, buddy, in the top 3. Tell us about your race. You had a hell of a finish with Proudfoot right there at the end, photo finish. Tell us about your race and how you brought that thing home in P3.
After the first stage, I didn't think I was going to be up there. I kind of messed up on the strategy. I kind of ran out entering pit road a little bit. Thought my race was screwed. But after that, we kind of got the speed in the good old 42 mobile. And if it wasn't for good old Proudfoot giving me draft and for some reason let me by and giving me talent, I probably wouldn't be up here. So, hell, and he didn't jinx me this week, I hope. So, there we go.
Hey, I said multiple times I'm not going to talk about Jonathan Adams because every time I do, he doesn't make it in to the podium finish. So I shut my mouth and look at it. It worked. You finished third.
Talent, dude. It finally happened.
Hey,
Now time to wreck next week.
hey, that's all that matters. You know, just 1 week at a time. But good finish for you. Any friends, families, anybody you want to shout out? The floor's all yours.
I want to shout out to Meme Gold Motorsports. Obviously, team owner, good old Austin, or as I call him, Zesty. Giving me this shot. And thanks to Smeal as well. And obviously Proudfoot. But yeah, other than that, we're all good.
Absolutely, buddy. Well, good to talk to you, and hopefully we will talk to you again next week. I promise I won't say anything about you, so maybe you can get a podium finish again.
Hey, you better shut your mouth.
Hey, I'm not very good at shutting my mouth, but I'll see what I can do.
All right.
Good race, buddy.
All right, thank you.
All right, that was third place finisher Jonathan Adams, and now Tommy Withers will take our second place finisher Edward Marshall.
Yeah, Edward Marshall. This is Tommy in the booth. You have a copy?
Yes, sir. Tommy, how are you?
I'm good, man. Tell us about your night. Congratulations on your second place finish. How'd it go?
Thank you, man. It went pretty sucky. I thought we had a really good strategy and really good call, and then it just didn't play out. The car got super tight, especially after I got back to Zach, and from that point on, I couldn't make any progress going forward. So
Yeah, it seemed like one of those races where strategy was key, and if you were out front, all the way out front, you kind of had the advantage on the field. Tell us about why you chose Michigan. Why run Michigan as on your schedule this year?
well, I told Jeremy early on, Michigan is like one of my go-to tracks. I feel pretty confident in Michigan. And I figured a couple extra laps wouldn't hurt before Sunday's race because I think Sunday's probably going to be a must-win situation for me going into A squared playoffs. So I'm going to do what I can to wrap up the W there.
Do you think there's anything you can take from today's race to carry over into Sunday to help you out?
Not a golf or anything.
Well, it looked like you had a lot of fun out there, man. It was fun watching you to battle. Is there anything you think you could have done differently, maybe to make a run at the win?
Yeah, I should have just doored them like it done to me at Dover at the beginning of the season and put them up into the wall. But it is what it is.
Well, a great race car driver never forgets, and there's still a lot of races left for that to happen. Did you want to give a shout out to anybody while we have you here?
Just a shout out to Tom for being such an awesome dude. Shout out to Jeremy for letting me run his car in the Ignition Series, and look forward to seeing y'all on Sunday.
Do you have any races left this season in this stretch here, this 12 race stretch in the Ignition Series?
Not in this 12 not in these 12 races, but I think they decided that they was going to let us run 2 or 4 races in the next 12. So I don't know.
Okay, well, I'm sure we'll see you out there in the final 12 races here of this 2023 season. Again, man, great race. Congrats on your P2 finish, and I look forward to running against you on Sunday.
Sounds good, man. Y'all have a good night.
Yes, sir.
See you, buddy. That was our second place finisher, Edward Marshall. Now we'll get a word with our race winner, Zach Millett. This is Ryan Pinnell in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Woo, man, you were hauling ass, as they say, down in the east coast of Georgia. Tell us about your race, and you had a really fast hot rod. It looked like maybe that 45. We were pulling for that 45 of Patrick Allen Jr. with about 7 to go, but didn't have enough in the tank, and you were able to get around them and stay ahead of Edward Marshall and Jonathan Adams. Just tell us about your race and how that 315 was working for you.
Man, I'm not gonna lie, I was pulling for that 45 too. Like if he could have made it, that would have been freaking awesome. We all would have been happy with that one. But yeah, man, I was talking to the guys in the green room there, and I didn't get as much practice in as I'd like, and making it to that stage was just a total accident. I was wide open the first 12 laps of that stage, and I looked down and I'm short 3 laps. And I was like, oh no, I'm in big trouble. Maybe that's why everybody was falling back. Okay. So I shut the car off every second I could. I mean, they caught me pretty quick, but yeah, so we stretched that one. I was coming down pit road the entire time out of gas completely. And yeah, I don't know. The car just felt good out there, man. I ended up taking 2 tires at that last stop. I slid through the box, so I thought I kind of screwed myself. But yeah, we got out off pit road pretty quick, and yeah, just had enough, man.
Absolutely. Well, great race, great finish. Again, we were kind of talking a little bit about, some of these ignition drivers, including yourself, trying to kind of make a push for Sunday. We got the driver roster change coming up pretty soon. Is that something that you're pushing for? Are you trying to impress owners, or do you have another commitment that, you kind of can't commit to Sunday nights?
Well, honestly, I'm just out here raising hell, but I don't know. It'd be something I'd be interested in doing. I mean, you guys got a ton of fast drivers over there in A squared, and it'd be fun to race everybody. It really would. I've got no bull series on Sundays right now, but that's coming to an end, and yeah, I'm gonna be open Sundays. So yeah, maybe we can make that happen. That'd be fun.
Well, there you go, team owners. If you're listening, me included, Tommy Withers included, both of us team owners. We're always looking for drivers. I know Withers is down a driver or two, so man, I'd love to have you on Sunday nights. That's how, as I mean, we all know the only way you get better is to race drivers that are, faster and better than you, and that's how you get better. So I would love to have you on Sunday nights. Hopefully you get picked up, and but regardless, a hell of a race for you tonight, and any friends, family, or anybody you want to shout out, the floor's all yours.
I got to thank ARCS and you, Ryan and Tommy, for the broadcast. It's always awesome to go back and watch it. I got to thank hbrshops.com, Track Bar Media. Oh, let's see, Castle Products, and shoot me a follow over on Twitch at that S4 guy.
Absolutely. Well, hell of a race, buddy. Another win under your belt here in the Ignition Series, and hopefully we'll get to see you on Sunday nights here pretty soon. But until then, we'll keep talking to you here on Friday nights. Hell of a race, good job, and hopefully we'll talk to you next Friday.
Hell yeah, man. Take care, guys.
All right, see you, buddy. All right, that was your race winner, Zach Millett. Well, Withers, I'll let you give a kind of recap of what you saw, and then I'll close us out.
It was a great race, man. Some comers and goers like you expect to see on long green flag runs. Again, I'm very proud of every driver in the field today, running very clean the whole time. I don't believe there was a single incident for a single caution for an incident. Maybe one, actually, now that I think about it. But I think the fastest car won. I think Millett all day had the best car. It's interesting. I'm glad he talked about his strategy at the end of the race. I did not realize he took 2 there. I wish I would have asked Marshall the same question and see how many tires he took. But Today was a race where you won the race with your head, not necessarily with your foot. And I think maybe Millet had the best of both today.
Absolutely, he was definitely one of the fastest, if not the fastest car on track. Tough break for John Smeal coming home sixth. I know he put in a lot of practice. I've been there. I turned a couple thousand laps at Nashville and it didn't work out for me. So it's just one of those deals where sometimes all the practice in the world just, again, I mean, you get put in splits with iRating and official races and you think, oh, I am so fast. I am so, so quick, so good. And then you get in these official or these, league races with other ARCS members and you're like, holy shit, I'm not fast at all. Like I'm a top 10 car at best. I mean, I've been there before. I know it's frustrating, but overall a great race. I mean, really clean racing. Not a whole lot of contact on track. So overall, just a great race. And shout out to Zach Millett, obviously. One of the fastest cars out there. Edward Marshall coming home second. Jonathan Adams finally getting that podium finish that he has been just hunting for it seems like 3 months now. So finally got him a podium. Brandon Proudfoot, another great finish in that sixth machine. Noah Belleville coming home in fifth, and then John Smeal in sixth. Dale Markowski seventh. Thomas Andrews eighth. Kevin Feemster comes home in ninth, and then James Kerr rounds out the top 10. So great race. Again, Withers, appreciate you helping me. It's always fun to do this with a buddy up here. And we will be back next Friday night for ARCS Ignition Racing. I don't even know where they're at, to be honest. They're at the Indy Oval. So
That's gonna be cool.
yeah, that'll be a hell of a race. So no road coursing next week. We will have Watkins Glen in 2 weeks, but no Indy road course for the Ignition Series. They are running the oval. So, well, I say oval. It's like a rectangle, but still.
Quick reminder: only 3 weeks left in the regular season, and then we start the playoffs.
Correct.
September 4th at Darlington.
Yep, and that's going to be crazy as well. Also, we have obviously the season finale of OAP tomorrow night, as well as the season premiere of SNS at Daytona, and then A Squared will be right here at Michigan Sunday night. So we still have a lot of racing left this weekend. So obviously Saturday night OAP. Not sure if that'll be broadcasted or not, but if it is, it'll be with Carmen Hardy at ABN Esports. And then SNS broadcasted by Carmen Hardy as well with ABN Esports. And so is Sunday. So a lot of ABN broadcasting for the remainder of this weekend. But hell of a race. We'll be back next week for the Indy Oval. And until then, y'all make sure you stay on that loud pedal. And we will talk to y'all next Friday.